All right. Hey guys, gals, and everything in between. So I just want to bring you guys up to speed. We got several candidates, as well as other special guests that are coming up. Uh, Friday, so day after tomorrow, we have Juanita Haney. Friday the 10th. For those of you guys watching this later, we have Juanita Haney. She's running for state rep for District 20, which is currently an incumbent that's been there for 10 years now. 2016, he was elected. He is the chairman of the Roads and Highways Committee for Roads and Highways. I don't know exactly how the naming goes, but people are angry. People are very angry. So we'll see what happens. We'll focus on that when we get there. Monday, we're going to have Chuck Watterson. He's running for prosecutor for LaPorte County, and people are angry. But again, we'll let him give his story. So I wanted to share some interesting things that I found on X today. We'll start with the Q.
Ketchup, mustard.
Oh, it's got salt. Oh, I think it all. Found that one. That's why.
That's a good boy or good girl right there.
Nice.
Started
look at this in Seattle.
Wow. God, what a day.
Oh, enjoying that hot dog with the bun and everything.
It's got ketchup, mustard.
Oh, it's got salt. Oh, I think it all. Found that one. That's why.
That's a good boy or good girl right there.
Nice little find.
Well fed too.
Right?
With the hat and everything.
Jeez.
Adorable. Absolutely adorable. So I got a couple other things I want to share with you guys. So this I found very interesting. It says, ooh, busted. NASA posted a new photo of the galaxy stating it was taken by the Artemis crew on April 7th, 2026. However, a reverse image search shows this is the same exact photo dating back to at least 2008. Case closed. NASA's fake. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the link. Try it yourself. Now, there are a ton of community notes on this. It says here, reverse image search algorithms find similar images that are not necessarily identical. Anyone can get a photo they have of a commonly photographed thing, or take a new photo, put it in tiny eye reverse image search and see matches, right? Similar photos found online. This says the photo's metadata confirms it was captured on April 7th, 2026 by a Nikon Z9 camera during Artemis 2. Reverse image searches return similar, but not always identical. This I found funny. A gamer created a Call of Duty Zombies map where you play as Donald Trump and kill transgenders in bathrooms. The map is called Trump versus the Trannies. Dude, like what? Map even has custom weapon names. What the heck, dude? Oh my God. Yeah. Well, anyway. So this I find extremely interesting. It says people are missing the significance of this. Let's see what you guys think. Courtney Williams leaked to Seth Harp. Seth Harp was interviewed by Tucker Carlson about his book, The Fort Bragg Cartel, which quoted Williams extensively. Seth Harp was accused of leaking classified intel after he posted a photograph of a person he identified as the commander of the elite unit responsible for the Venezuela operation. By the way, he doxed the wrong person. Courtney Williams was arrested and indicted for allegedly leaking classified information tied to that same world. Worth watching how this plays out, because this is exactly where media, national security, and accountability intersect. I wonder if there will be more. Can't wait to see what comes out in court. My life became a living hell. One woman's career in Delta Force, the Army's most elite unit. Courtney Williams wanted to serve her country. What happened next shocked her. Tucker Carlson's post, Fort Bragg is America's largest military base, according to reporter Seth Harp, also a hotbed of murder and drug trafficking. House votes to subpoena journalist over report on Delta Force commander. House committee member accused Seth Harp of leaking classified intel. Same thing. Harp and his press advocates say he was simply exercising his First Amendment right. What do you guys think? Is there a limit to what reporters can post? Doxing seems to be beyond that line to me. It says here, I remember when we were digging into the Democratic Party corruption with the media, NGOs, and elected officials, things always circled back to the same group of people. Now it's happening on the right, the leakers, the podcasters, and foreign money. They always circle back to the same guys, a lot of times overlapping with the left. And OP says deep state establishment uniparty every damn time. This individual says nothing would make me happier than seeing that POS Tucker Carlson frog marched out of his home in handcuffs. Lunatic fraud. What do you guys think? Are you Tucker fans or not so much anymore? It says every enemy to America deserves accountability. Ian says Seth Harp did more than try to dox him. He tried to get him murdered. What's your take on that? So let's see here. What else is going on? Oh yeah, this is awful, guys. It says here, jurors will listen to the audio of 7-year-old Athena Strand being strangled to death by FedEx driver Tanner Horner. Horner pleaded guilty to capital murder, but the jury has to decide if he should be sentenced to death. Strand told the child, "Don't scream or I'll hurt you," as he picked her up and put her in his truck. The child tried to fight Strand off during the attack. His DNA was found under her nails. Prosecutors added that his DNA was found, quote, in places where you shouldn't find DNA on a 7-year-old girl. The girl's mother is for the death penalty being implemented. What do you guys think? Execute him. Absolutely execute him. Sick and disturbing. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. So let's see what you guys think of this. It says, do you understand what happened today? A single Wednesday, UAE Air Force bombed Iran's oil refineries on Syria and Lavon Islands after the ceasefire started. Iran fired 17 ballistic missiles and 35 drones at the UAE after the ceasefire started. 2 Emiratis and 1 Indian were injured at Abu Dhabi's Habshan gas complex after the ceasefire. Air raid alerts went off in Dubai after the ceasefire. Explosions heard in Bahrain's capital, Manama. All this is after the ceasefire. Kuwait reported attacks. Netanyahu said the ceasefire does not include Lebanon, while Pakistan's PM says it covers everywhere, including Lebanon. Oil plunged below $95 because markets believed the ceasefire was real. J.D. Vance called it a fragile truce, the understatement of the century. All of this one Wednesday after the ceasefire was announced and started. If you're not, blah, blah, blah. It's only Wednesday. See you tomorrow. It'll be worse. It says here, U.S. is just restocking during this ceasefire. We can't be trusted for anything. It's in our culture, friends and buddies, just to get one around and on you. Hell, we as a civil country can't get along with each other. There are lies and narratives meant for market manipulation, and there is conflict in the Middle East. They're sort of related, but not really. So they asked Grok if these events were real. It says, yes, these events are confirmed by multiple sources, including UAE Defense Ministry statements, Iranian state media, Al Jazeera, etc. UAE did report intercepting exactly 17 Iranian ballistic missiles, plus 35 drones post-ceasefire. Explosions hit Lavon Syria refineries. Iran blamed enemy attack, unconfirmed UAE role. Habshan gas complex saw debris and injuries, alerts in Dubai, explosions in Bahrain, Manama. I don't know, how do you say it? Manama. Kuwait attacks all after the announcement. Netanyahu explicitly said the truce excludes Lebanon, contrasting the Pakistan prime minister. Oil fell below 95. Yes. All of these things are correct. So, what is this? Indie Reporter says, some of you may be getting mailers about a free tree giveaway. Just a reminder, most of these programs are funded through public forestry budgets or grants. So taxpayer dollars are often involved. It's also an easy opportunity for elected officials running for re-election to get their name out. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's convenient, right? I'm sure it's just coincidence, right? Let's see here. There was something else that I think okay, so this I found interesting. The FBI's stairwell photo released of the suspect in the Charlie Kirk case is real. Baron Coleman just proved it was taken on September 10th. The speculation is over. The questions about whether the FBI manufactured the stairwell photo of the alleged Charlie Kirk assassin have been decisively answered. In a massive independent investigation, Baron Coleman just dropped a definitive piece of evidence that proves the picture is authentic and was taken September 10th, 2025, the day of the catastrophic Big Bang. How he did it. Critics have long argued that the FBI's image was a generic stock shot or even faked to fit their timeline. Baron Coleman just used their own evidence against them, pairing it with an independent satellite imagery taken moments before the event. Coleman pinpointed two highly distinct vehicles in the UVU parking lot in the aerial view. He then found those exact same vehicles visible in the background of the stairwell shot. This perfect synchronization proves beyond any doubt that the two images were taken on the same day, same location, minutes apart. The stairwell shot is the real deal. If you open both pics, you'll see the same truck and gray hatchback in both pics. One is an aerial view. The other is a pic released by the FBI. This evidence, the pictures were taken on the same day. But there's a new problem. While the picture is now proven authentic, it does raise a question that should terrify the establishment. If the picture is real, then who is in it? Because one thing is certain, it is not Tyler Robinson. I don't know if you guys have heard, but the ballistics did not match. So the facial features don't match. It looks nothing like him. Let's look at the facts. Earlobes never lie. Tyler Robinson has attached earlobes. Look closely at this picture. Open earlobes. It's not a shadow, genetic difference. If the figure isn't the patsy they told us it was, then we're looking at a different operative entirely. One the FBI still hasn't accounted for. So what do we do now? 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We now know the FBI evidence isn't faked, but that only proves their official story is a lie. They identified the wrong person. The ghost in the machine just became a whole lot more dangerous. Is this the glitch they can't patch? Are we dealing with 2 different operatives? Or did they find a lookalike with the wrong earlobes? Let's take a look here. So this is the picture that they're saying is the overhead, and there's behind. All right, so we've got this truck and hatchback. Yeah, and they're parked apart. So I can't really tell on the picture about the earlobes, but I suppose some digital investigation would bear that out. If they're telling the truth, then that is interesting. So it says here that Japan Prime Minister Takaichi spoke to Iran's President Pezeshkian for 25 minutes, the first top-level contact between Tokyo and Tehran since the war began. She called the Strait of Hormuz an international public good. Let that sink in. Japan imports 94.2% of its crude oil from Arab nations, nearly all of it coming through the Straits of Hormuz. In February of 26, 74 million barrels of crude. Japan released 80 million barrels from strategic reserves, 45 days of domestic demand. The Nikkei has fallen 11% since the war began. The yen hit 20-month lows, markets pricing a 70% chance of a Bank of Japan rate hike this month. The IRGC legislated a toll system on March 31st, requiring yuan payments, military contractor clearance, and armed escorts near Larak Island. Pezeshkian is the civilian president of a regime where the civilian president does not control the military, the strait, or the toll booth. They're showing you Japan calls for diplomacy. They're not showing you that the person Japan called doesn't control the thing Japan needs. If the strait is an international public good, why does accessing it require an IRGC clearance code and a yuan payment? Complete silence. Yuan, yuan, I don't know how you say it. What do you guys think? Let's see here. So, you guys, now they may be wrong on this, but have you seen how all of these scientists are passing or disappearing? Mystery surrounds death of 9th scientist tied to U.S. secrets as disturbing pattern grows. Another scientist with ties to America's space program has now joined the growing list of deaths and disappearances around the U.S. Good Lord at the pop-ups, man. This is nuts. And people wonder why people use blockers. Michael David Hicks, a research scientist at NASA's JPL, passed away on July 30th, 2023 at the age of 59, but the cause of death was never made public. Now, according to this says, we've already investigated Michael David Hicks. He didn't make our roster. The Daily Mail is getting this wrong. Hicks died July 2023, 13 months before the pattern begins. The Daily Mail is retroactively inflating the body count. His work was entirely open civilian science, 80 plus papers, all public. Comet spectrophotometry? Yeah. Spectrophotometry. No classified programs, no DITC records, no defense contracts. He left JPL in 22, a full year before he died. His own obituary directs memorial donations to Al-Anon. If you guys aren't familiar with Al-Anon, it's part of the 12-step program, and Al-Anon is, I think, dependents of alcoholics. No public cause of death describes most private Americans. Absence of a press release is not suppression. Our series lives or dies on institutional connective tissue. Patients, DTIC filings, classified program affiliations, defense contracts. Hicks has none of that. So let's see here. Illinois Supreme Court fires Cook County Judge James R. Brown for backing Trump. They yanked him out of retirement to fix the traffic court backlog. 6 weeks later, they axed him for a pro-Trump column he wrote after fully retiring from the bench, ripping Democratic lawfare and Soros prosecutors. No hearing, no due process, just partisan lawyers in full meltdown. If he praised Biden instead, he'd still be on the bench. Apparently, this is what passes for justice in one-party blue Illinois. That is kind of nuts. Yeah, the analogy of burning frogs, the water is boiling. And that really, ladies and gentlemen, comes down to why we don't see justice, why we can't see justice until we fix our justice system. We have got to get rid of these activist judges. We've got to get rid of these people that are full on blocking stuff that's coming down. You know, I'd love to see these traitors perp walked. I would love to see people, and I don't care what party they're from. If you are actively plotting against the sitting president of the United States, if you are actively attempting to stop his orders from going into effect, lawful orders from going into effect, that's treason. If you are providing aid and comfort to the enemy of this nation, that's treason. I don't care what party you're from. If you are guilty, I want to see justice. But in order to get justice, we have to fix our justice system. Look at what they tried to do in New York. Look at what's going on. You guys know, I'm not telling you anything you're not seeing in full display. It's infuriating. But how do we fix it, right? Well, I think we're working on it. I think getting people that care about their communities elected. I think start local. We need to take back our government. We need to ensure that the same machine doesn't continue running things. I mean, there's so much. There is so much out there. But right now, I think the most important thing all of us can do is focus on the primary election. I cannot emphasize enough how important voting in the primary is. I know that it doesn't feel like your votes matter. I know it doesn't feel like you can do anything about what's happening. But voting in the primary, your vote matters more than any other election. It really does. And many of these races are decided in the primary. So learn about these candidates. It's one reason I do what I do with the show. Guys, like, I'd love to sit here and goof off on X or Facebook or whatever, showing you guys random goofy stuff. But instead, I interview candidates and I show you guys who they are, hopefully, so you can get a chance to get to know them. I have some follow-up questions for our judicial candidates that we had. I'm going to be sending those out. Hopefully they'll respond and I'll be able to update you. But I think it's good sometimes just to take a break from that, though, and just scroll through some random posts and find some interesting things to dig into. Here's one that piqued my curiosity. It's Earth's frequency under pressure, unknown origin. Day 3, and it's not backing off. For nearly 5 straight hours today, the Schumann resonance held at extreme levels, saturating the chart across multiple frequencies. Now, I'll be honest, I am not a huge knowledgeable individual about the Schumann resonance, but it's interesting. I'm interested. I know that as far as our planet goes and our lives go, the frequency of things are very, very important. It says here, this wasn't a spike. This was sustained. Energy stayed elevated, locked in with no real drop off during that window. That's what makes this different. The origin of this activity isn't clear, but something is maintaining it. Something feels off. Are you noticing it where you are? I mean, that is interesting. It says here, yesterday after the spike, we had like 6 or 7 accidents all over town. 2 people killed in 2 of the accidents. It was a mess. The dog has been barking all night the last couple of nights and refuses to come in. I'm just trying to push as much positive energy out as I can. Galactic Federation of Light Crafts is the origin of the constant spikes. It's all in preparation of the shift to sheen, which is imminent. 100p, the cause and effect, all very positive. 100%, I guess. LFG. So, as a former MMO player, my first thought when I see LFG is looking for Groot. But I know it's not. I intuit that 8 billion conscious beings living in the current pressure cooker between Earth and the sky have more to do with the frequency than previously thought. I agree with that. That's my point. I would appreciate anyone familiar with such thinking share any research of societal stress and the field frequency. Simply, any studies of the human tracking with world crisis. Says this is actually a major question. I've kept an eye on it, and it does seem there is correlation. I noticed major spikes after Charlie Kirk assassination and during his funeral, during major events or big releases of information that were seen and relevant on a worldwide scale. Another big spike when Elon opened up the auto translate feature and when the Iranian uprising started, along with the subsequent war. Now I'm wishing I had taken more notes. This says, I don't think there are 8 billion beings here. I think that's an inflated number. People have been whistleblowing that recently. What's your take on that? Do you think we have 8 billion people on the planet? Thought maybe we could get a lead by checking the data at the Global Consciousness Project, but their live data is down. Anyone know if there's a correlation in the past? 6 billion and 32, same question. Yep, have looked into it. I was researching it through the lens of the singularity, though, and documented some resorted symptoms during the time frames it spiked. Let's see here. Resonance depth cascade, multiverse convergence. Okay, that's a lot of stuff I just genuinely don't know or get. So we're just going to move on. Look at that. That's pretty. Sun behind the mountain there. Yep. All right, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick update on the show and what we got coming up. Again, Friday, Juanita Haney. If you guys are familiar with LaPorte County, you'll recognize the last name. She's the wife of Joe Haney, much loved commissioner. And in my opinion, the only commissioner on the board who gives a damn about personal liberty, the Second Amendment, keeping government small, anything positive. Again, my personal opinion, the other two are less than useless, but just my thoughts. You guys, by all means, can have your own opinion, and I urge you to don't just parrot what I say. Form your own opinion. Look into these people. But anyway, what her opinions of, or I should say, what her opinions are of things and how she intends to vote, we will find out on Friday, 7 p.m. Now, this is not her first time appearing on the show. You guys can dig through the archives. She ran for, I think it was treasurer at the last election. Didn't quite pull it off, but maybe she was meant to run for this office instead. We'll see. You guys tune in. And then Monday's a big one. So I'm going to tell you guys, I always offer both competitors, or however many, right, the opportunity to come on the show. Now, the incumbent left me on red, hasn't answered. So whatever. I didn't really expect him to. This is the guy who says he doesn't answer surveys because they can hold you to that. That's the point. But I digress. Look, Chuck Watterson's going to be on the show on Monday. He's running for LaPorte County prosecutor. I offered the opportunity to the incumbent, Sean Fagan, for him to come on the show. Now, I'll say this. Before he got elected, Sean was all about coming on the program, and I somehow got the blame because he came on my show. I got the blame that because he got elected. I didn't realize I had that much power. Maybe if that was the case, I'd have gotten myself elected, but you know, who knows? That said, I did reach out to Sean twice. I gave him 2 opportunities to come onto the show. I have yet to hear back from him. He left me on red. So we shall see, but I am not holding my breath. Chuck Watterson will be here Monday. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Chuck, he was the chief deputy prosecutor. And for 3 years, he ran that office. Now, when he announced his plan to run for prosecutor. As my understanding, now I don't have any verified intel I can show you guys, but my understanding of the situation is that the current incumbent had intended to run for judge. The plan was for Chuck to take over, run for prosecutor when blah, blah, blah. For whatever reason, the incumbent decided not to, or something, either run for judge or get put in. I don't know. Like I said, this is just talking that I've heard. So he as in Watterson was continuing on. It's like, okay, I'm, ready to run. And Chuck was told, no, you need to not run because I'm running for reelection. And Chuck's like, dude, I already went and got signs and spent a bunch of money to do this, Oh, well, I can't have you as deputy prosecutor, chief deputy. But what I can do is, make you part-time. You can still have a job, just a crappy one. I don't know, but it's kind of not great in my opinion, way to treat people. So it is what it is. I am hoping that Monday he can shed some light. He being Chuck can shed some light on that situation, as well as, more importantly, hear his plans for the office. If he had the power to change things at that office, because as chief deputy, yeah, he might have ran the office, but ultimately he had to listen to the person in charge. If he had carte blanche, if he's able to just do whatever he wants, what is he planning to do? I personally am excited to hear what his plans are if elected. Hope you guys will tune in. The prosecutor is super important. I mean, let's face it. Look at the sheer volume of people who are arrested and let right back out. I'm not saying here in LaPorte County, although I'm sure it does happen, but there are some concerning quotes by the current incumbent, things such as, well, it's much cheaper if we just take a plea bargain, and that rubs me the wrong way. Imagine being a victim of a crime and hearing that it's more important to save money than to prosecute the criminal who took whatever from you, whether it was your dignity, your property, or possibly the life of your child or loved one. That very much rubbed me the wrong way when I saw that. And I was hoping that it wouldn't be that way. But as I said, the incumbent, prior to him winning the election, he was all about coming on, and was at least once, possibly twice, that he came on the show. Anyway, tune in Monday and we will have something very interesting for you. But first, make sure you're here Friday to meet Juanita Haney. All right, guys, that's it for me tonight. I'm going to go see if I can get myself into some trouble with some video games for a little while. See you guys again real soon. God bless you. God bless Indiana, and God bless the United States of America. I appreciate you watching. Talk to you soon. Good night.
Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion.